The late 19th century. The United States was rapidly transforming into an industrial powerhouse. Cities grew rapidly. Factories churned out goods at an unprecedented pace. But progress came with labor unrest and environmental degradation. The gap between rich and poor widened, a time of great promise and upheaval. A confluence of factors transformed the era. Abundant resources like coal, iron ore, and oil fueled growth. Railroads connected producers in the East with the West. Innovations like the Bessemer process boosted industries. Icons like Carnegie and Edison defined the age. Millions of Americans left rural farms for jobs in industrial centers. Factories employed men, women, and children in harsh conditions. The Industrial Revolution created a new working class facing long hours and low wages. This period of growth was also a time of labor unrest. The Industrial Revolution was built on a foundation of steel. Henry Bessemer revolutionized steel production. His process made steel cheaper and more abundant. Andrew Carnegie saw steel's potential. He built a steel empire using Bessemer's method. The expansion of railroads was both a cause and a consequence of the Industrial Revolution. Railroads facilitated the transportation of raw materials, finished goods, and people over long distances, connecting markets and fueling economic growth. The first transcontinental railroad, completed in 1869, linked the East Coast to the West Coast, shrinking travel time from months to days. This monumental achievement spurred further railroad construction, creating a web of rail lines that crisscrossed the nation. The railroads had a profound impact on American life, opening up new territories for settlement and agriculture. Railroad companies became powerful entities, wielding considerable economic and political influence. The expansion of railroads was both a cause and a consequence of the Industrial Revolution. Railroads connected markets, fueling economic growth. The first transcontinental railroad, completed in 1869, linked the East Coast to the West Coast. This achievement spurred further railroad construction, creating a web of rail lines. Railroads opened new territories for settlement and agriculture. While steel provided the framework for the Industrial Revolution, oil fueled its engines. The discovery of oil in Pennsylvania in 1859 marked a new era. John D. Rockefeller recognized the potential of this industry. He founded Standard Oil in 1870, consolidating power. By the 1880s, Standard Oil controlled 90% of U.S. refining. The oil industry transformed the American economy. The Industrial Revolution brought economic growth and technological progress. However, these advances came at a cost. Workers faced dangerous conditions. Labor unions fought for better conditions and fair treatment, but met resistance from powerful industrialists. The gap between the rich and poor widened, fueling social unrest. The Industrial Revolution was a time of great transformation and upheaval. Andrew Carnegie, a name synonymous with American industry, embodied the rags-to-riches story. Born in Scotland in 1835, Carnegie immigrated to the United States at 13. He worked various jobs, from bobbin boy to telegraph messenger. His big break came in the railroad industry, where he rose through the ranks. In 1875, he founded Carnegie Steel. Investing in the Bessemer process, he revolutionized steel production. Carnegie's success was not solely due to his embrace of new technology. He was also a shrewd businessman, constantly seeking ways to improve efficiency and reduce costs. One of his key innovations was vertical integration. Carnegie Steel controlled every stage of production, from mining to transporting steel rails. This tight control allowed him to undercut competitors. Despite criticism, Carnegie's impact on the steel industry was undeniable. He transformed steel into a commodity, enabling skyscrapers and bridges. While Carnegie was building his steel empire, John D. Rockefeller entered the oil industry in the 1860s as kerosene became a popular source of illumination. He created a monopoly with Standard Oil, controlling over 90% of U.S. oil refining by the 1880s. This made Rockefeller one of the wealthiest men and a target of public criticism. Carnegie and Rockefeller were often referred to as captains of industry. However, they were also dubbed robber barons, reflecting public unease about their wealth and power. Critics argued they amassed fortunes through unethical practices and exploiting workers. In 1890, Congress passed the Sherman Antitrust Act, outlawing monopolies. The Industrial Revolution triggered a massive movement from rural areas to cities. The promise of steady work lured millions to industrial centers. This exodus transformed the demographic landscape of the United States. Cities swelled with newcomers, populations exploding in decades. For many, the move was wrenching, leaving behind close-knit communities. The industrial city was a place of both wonder and squalor. Skyscrapers pierced the skyline, symbols of industrial might. Electric lights transformed urban life. Beneath progress lay a darker reality. Overcrowded tenements bred disease. The contrast between the elite and the working class was stark. Yet the city offered a lure with department stores and theaters. The factory was the heart of the industrial city, transforming raw materials into finished goods. For thousands, it was a place of hardship and danger. Workdays were long, often 12 hours, 6 days a week. Safety regulations were lax, and accidents were common. Wages were low, and child labor was prevalent. The harsh working conditions and low wages of the industrial era fueled the labor movement. Workers began to organize, forming unions. Early unions like the Knights of Labor and the American Federation of Labor faced opposition from industrialists. Strikes were met with violence as companies hired private security forces. Despite setbacks, the labor movement gained momentum. The Industrial Revolution transformed the United States into an economic powerhouse, but it also cast a long shadow. The relentless pursuit of profit came at the expense of the environment and workers. Burning coal released tons of pollutants into the air, blanketing cities in thick smog. Industrial waste polluted rivers and streams, poisoning water supplies and harming aquatic life. Health hazards emerged for those nearby. The gap between the rich and the poor widened, fueling social unrest. The Industrial Revolution brought profound changes, both beneficial and detrimental, electrifying a nation, the dawn of a new age. The late 19th century witnessed a technological marvel: electricity. Thomas Edison played a pivotal role in bringing this force to the masses. Edison's incandescent light bulb was practical and commercially viable. Its steady glow replaced gaslight, transforming the urban landscape. Factories could operate around the clock, and homes were no longer dark. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell uttered the now famous words, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you," into a device that would revolutionize communication, the telephone. Bell's invention quickly captured the public imagination. The telephone broke down barriers of distance. Business transactions could now be settled in minutes. Families could hear each other's voices. The telephone industry grew rapidly. Telephone exchanges became bustling hubs of communication. The telephone's impact on society was profound, mechanizing the fields, agriculture's transformation. The Industrial Revolution profoundly impacted agriculture. New machines increased productivity, transforming food production. Reapers and threshers reduced labor for planting and harvesting. Farmers cultivated larger plots with fewer workers, increasing yields. Refrigerated railcars revolutionized perishable goods transportation. Farmers shipped produce to distant markets, reducing spoilage. This led to large-scale agricultural businesses and fewer small farms. Section 4. An economic powerhouse. America's ascent on the world stage. The Industrial Revolution propelled the United States to the forefront of the global economy. By the early 20th century, America had surpassed Great Britain as the world's leading industrial power. Natural resources, railroads, and immigrants fueled industrial growth. American businesses churned out goods at an unprecedented pace. Corporations like Standard Oil and U.S. Steel concentrated economic power. Mass production made goods affordable, fueling a consumer society. The U.S. emerged as a global economic powerhouse, shaping global affairs. Shaping a modern nation. The Industrial Revolution transformed the United States. Its impact resonates today. Innovation and entrepreneurial spirit propelled the nation. The shift from agrarian to industrial society transformed lives. Cities swelled with newcomers seeking opportunity. New technologies reshaped daily life. Section 2. The Gilded Age and its discontents. Navigating the path forward. The Gilded Age was a time of dazzling progress and stark contrasts. Wealth grew exponentially, concentrated in the hands of industrial titans like Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Vanderbilt. Lavish mansions contrasted with the poverty endured by many working-class Americans. Rapid economic growth was marked by corruption, political scandals, and worker exploitation. Monopolies like Standard Oil stifled competition, raising concerns about fairness. Reformers emerged to address the era's excesses and growing disparity. Section 3. Echoes of the Revolution. Lessons for the 21st century. The Industrial Revolution offers valuable lessons for the 21st century. We can learn from its triumphs and failures. It reminds us of the power of human ingenuity and technology. It underscores the importance of entrepreneurship and innovation, but it also cautions us about the unintended consequences of progress. We can draw inspiration from reformers and activists. The choices we make today will shape the future. Section 3. Echoes of the Revolution. Lessons for the 21st century. The Industrial Revolution offers valuable lessons for today. We can learn from its triumphs and failures. It reminds us of human ingenuity and technology, but it also cautions us about progress's unintended consequences. The choices we make today will shape the future.